All right, man, I'm your host with the most ghosts, Triple B, and in this one, we're going to be talking Magik issue number 3. And last time we saw Illyana, she was falling down a portal, and she met the Lamental. She has been trapped inside the Lamental's domain for weeks, trying to escape him, but her portal magic doesn't work, and her simple spells she can barely do. As the Lamental says, "Stop running from me, Magik. I just want to talk to you. You owe me that, don't you, darling?" And she looks up at him and says, "I owe you nothing." And he says it's like talking to a little child. She says, "Oh my God, how did you get in my head?" And with a snap of his finger, all of a sudden, Cat from Limbo lures at Magik. And she is the version of Kitty Pryde of Limbo, but she helped Magik defeat Belisco in Limbo, but she was unable to save her from his dark magic. The Lamental is telling her that he has peered inside of her head and sees all the mistakes that she has made and all of the loved ones that's gotten hurt because of it, and that she should be happy that he locked her here in his domain so that nobody else can get hurt. And Magik says, "I've been trying to ignore his comics for weeks, but he is haunting me with manifestations of failures of my past." And what magic drives him? I've never seen a being so intertwined with a domain other than me of Limbo. And she says, "If you know me so well, Lamental, then you know that I hate being trapped." And he says, "Well, I can just manifest more enemies, Illyana, but you refuse to use what's inside you to take control of it. You refuse the Darkchild. And you don't have to be a victim in Limbo. The Darkchild formed from your demonic side, and it has the strength to mold any reality." And now Magik says, "I do feel powerless. On Earth, my magic would have destroyed such hollow shades here. I can only imagine to push them back. Yet we all have limitations. Only attacking me with 6 enemies? That's insulting. I must be much more of a threat unless your power is limited." And the Lamental says, "Don't misunderstand me. I know that you are a threat, Illyana. That's why you are so intriguing to me." And then he manifests Belisco, the demon that drug Magik to hell. And just with one word from his lips, Magik feels like she's in Limbo all over again. But Magik snaps out of it, and she realizes that she's not a child anymore, and she doesn't tolerate these threats. And now Magik isn't hiding anymore, and she says, "You may have control over this domain, but you aren't omniscient. My magical power may be weak, but I can still handle this basic spell," as she forms a pentagram underneath the manifestation of Belisco. And she says, "You fell for my trap. There is nowhere to hide, Lamental. You bind your consciousness with a single form, preventing your means to escape. How does it feel being unable to transform your consciousness to your manifestations?" And now Magik is holding her soul sword, and she says, "I am on the attack." And now Magik jumps in the air with her soul sword above her head, swing it down on the manifestation of the Lamental. He disappears, and hands drag her down to hell, and she falls through another portal where she lands and looks up, and the Lamental is sitting on his throne, and he says, "I adore these games, but you can stop humoring me. I'm tired of the chase. I believe there might have been a misunderstanding." And Magik now takes her soul sword and throws it at the Lamental, and it just misses his head as she says the time for talk is over. I'll exact vengeance for every single mutant you murdered. And that will just be the beginning. And the Lamental says, "Murdered again, you're misunderstanding. They're still alive and well, resting in my domain. They're happy and blank and ready to serve me." As Magik retrieves her soul sword, she says, "Like hell they are. They're dead, Lamental, and you can't change that. Let's play a game. I'll kill you before you kill me. As she slams her soul sword in the side of the Lamental's face, he says, kill you? Why would I want to kill you? As a piece of his mask falls to the ground. You are a gift to me, Illyana, which is one that I am going to collect. And now, as Magik thinks to herself, she thinks, I am no object, I am no tool. How dare he, how dare both of them try to control me? And as she slashes at the Lamental, she says, I demand you to release me. I brought down demonic regimes before. What makes you think you're so different? And the Lamental says, calm down, you're misunderstanding my words. She says, oh yeah, we'll misunderstand this. As she slams her soul sword across his face and he goes falling back and he says, enough! And Magik goes flying down to the ground with the words that just came out of the Lamental's mouth. And now as black blood drips from his eye, he picks up the piece of his mask and he says, I never wanted you to see me like this. I wish to hide my uglier parts from my form, and my Magik responded, slowly rebuilding my shell. However weak, allies, sometimes I lose myself. I let my emotions get the better of me. I'll try not to let that happen again around you, Illyana. It seems we're at an impulse. You want to leave, and I want you to stay. I am a responsible man, but I cannot let you go if you continue your destruction on my prison seals. I slumbered for centuries, yet the speed of modern life changed more elemental spaces, more spaces of transition. My resistance weakened. And just like that, I woke up. I've been watching you, Illyana. At first, I was annoyed, but the more I saw, the more I realized how similar we are. I'm impressed, more than impressed. I am entrapped by you. And now we're going to get the backstory of the Lamental, how he got taken when he was a child. In those days, it was really easy for a child to go missing, and it was a time of magic. There was these mages that wanted to escape their own humanity and to ascend to something more deeper. However, a ritual like this requires a sacrifice, and one of the mages did not want to sacrifice herself, so they sat me on top of a pentagram. And as they did a ritual of a forced shredding of my humanity, my genesis, and my evolution, Magik says, I understand your experience. You were a child waiting for somebody to help you, but nobody came. So that child grew stronger, a monster, and made sure that nobody could hurt you again. And I had others to make sure I didn't fall into limbo's horrors. You had no one. Let me help you. We can move forward. And Elemental looks up at Magik and says, there's nothing to help. I don't really remember it. I was pitiful, and now I am something more. I eventually brought all life under my control until a society of mages bound me. While different than the mages who created me, this society was just as cruel. I woke up in this realm, alone in darkness. However, as I grew, my prison became me and I it. My magic intertwined with my domain. This is why you struggle to use your powers. It would be similar if I went to your home, Limbo. And now Magik points her finger at him and says, Limbo is not my home. And this domain will not be mine much longer. I see the key to my freedom. In my past attempts, human DNA did not have enough power to break the seals. However, mutant DNA, well, let's just say they proved useful, whether as dolls or as fuel. I had my humanity peeled away to reveal who I really was underneath. I can offer you the same gift to you. I'm lonely, Illyana. I've craved someone who could understand me, and I'm so lucky to have found you. And now the Lamental takes Magik's hand and he says, we don't have to be alone anymore. I'm here now. Together, we can make a world where we can be the ones in power. We can be saved. You have to understand we're the only ones who can. And Magik says, I can understand, but I cannot condone your behavior. Stop looking down on me. Stop resisting your true self. We were both forced into demonic deals. If I become this monster, so will you. We are the same. And as a portal starts to open up above them, she says, fine, I'll play your game. I knew you'd see reason. I'll reward your understanding with a gift, your freedom for a price. And Magik says, you name it. And in the back of her mind, she says, I will let him suggest the cost, but I will not offer him anything more. And the Lamental looks at her and says, this is all for you, Illyana. I want you to be your true self on Earth. Let me release the chains of the Darkchild. This will be the only way I'll allow you to leave. She says, ha ha ha, that's not possible. My mental barrier is too strong over her. Oh, but it is possible. I control my puppets through mental means. If you allow it, I can rip down your mental defense against the Darkchild's influence. And Magik says, no, I'm not unreasonable. I won't force a Darkchild to emerge. After all, if you really are in control and she isn't your true self, what worries should you have? And he says, look, Illyana, I'm willing to play this game. I know you'll fail and come to me willingly, but I've waited a long time for my freedom. Our deal will last for 3 weeks. And if you stop me, I'll remove any traces left of the Darkchild. I won't let you keep running. And now Magik says, this is a bad idea, but what choices do I have? If I win, I will finally be freed from my past and my evil self that has been haunting me. And now the Darkchild puts her arms around Illyana and says, are you going to let me come out and play, Illyana? Because I cannot wait. The Lamental says, Darkchild's louder than you thought, Magik. She says, I will prove you wrong, Lamental. And by the time that I am finished, you will beg for my mercy. Beg to be trapped once more. I am giving you a chance to escape, Illyana, because I want you to come back to me with your own free will. But make no mistakes, I still want you by my side. I do not mind waiting. And all of a sudden, a portal opens up, and Magik is transported to Tokyo on the streets. Oh my god, I'm so glad to be out of the Lamental's domain, because now Magik transports herself to Escador, where Cal is, and she finds him. She says, oh my god, I thought I lost you forever. I've been gone for 3 weeks. He's like, 3 weeks? You've been gone for 3 days. And in that time, the Lamental, one of his seals, got taken down. She's like, oh my god, it's been only 3 days. What else could have happened? He says, don't worry. I found out where another seal is, and I found out somebody that could help us. And then all of a sudden, Dani shows up. Dani Moonstar, a mage, former leader of the New Mutants, and one of my best friends. Oh my god, and that's the last person that I wanted to see, Magik says. End of issue number 3. All right, man, my final thoughts, and so far the recap of the story so far, and we are on chapter number 3, so that means that the story has to get bat bleep crazy, and it is, dude. We got to go to the Lamental's domain that he's been running, kind of his backstory, why he's there, how he got there by other mages, and these other mages, you know, came because he got so damn powerful that they had to put all these seals up so that he can't get out. And he's trying to break seals by using mutant DNA, not the blood of humans, but the blood of mutants, because it's so much more stronger. And he really is infatuated with Magik because she was the Queen of Limbo and was able to escape. So he needs to know how to escape. He wants her by her side. I mean, who wouldn't want Magik by her side, by them sides, right? And so Man, it is absolutely crazy. He go ahead. He's like, you know what? I'll make a deal with you, but I'm gonna have to release the Darkchild out into on Earth and see if you can control her. And if you can't control her, and then he's coming to Earth. But if she can control her and then stop and all the seals from being broken, then who knows what's going on. But Magic's like down for the challenge. But I got a feeling that Dani Moonstar is not going to be happy that she went ahead and released a mental barrier from the Darkchild that is, the evil side of Magic. So, man, we're going to find out where issue 4 goes. So, if you like this type of content, next week we'll be dropping issue number 4 because we're getting caught up because they're on like number 6, getting ready to drop right now. So, we're getting all caught up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you haven't, and hit that bleeping bell so you'll be notified when Magic issue number 4 comes out from me, Triple P, from the Haunted Basement Studio. And I want you guys to remember one thing: you keep it haunted. Magic Comics. Later.